Hey, welcome to the Caribou Data Science Channel. This is the evening of January 1st, 2021. I'm going to take a look at this is at the problem with this is Sasha Az right here. He has wrote a long series of code. He's claiming that it's taken way too long to run, okay? Uh, what I'm going to do over here is, the first thing I did is I created a GitHub repository for all my code and data, all right? That's also a very good place to start. So now I'm going to come back over here and actually create the repository. The way you do that is you click here, do project, version control, get. So it's going to create this directory underneath the R subdirectory, underneath the R directory, okay? Okay. Then we're going to start with we're going to call this 01. Okay. Then I'll come over here. Right. We're going to download. What's this here then? Time series 1, time series 2. Okay. So we're going to put this over here. All right. This creates the two time series, apparently. Okay. So there's nothing tricky here. And here's the first question. Okay, the first thing I want to point out is the first thing before you do any work on R, when you first fire up R in the morning, this is what I want you to do very first, and it's really important. This could, by don't taking this one step, you can eliminate a lot of errors. Okay, and that's simply on package update. Okay, because you always want to run your code against the latest version of all your package you've installed. No, I'm not quite. Okay, so all packages. Otherwise, what would happen is you would have some packages showing up in here. Then you click select all, install packages, okay? And this one to note, if you install a package and it asks you if you want to install from source, always say yes to install from source, okay? So now we got this done. So this apparently creates uh, a couple of a couple of time series, okay? This creates a second time series. Now, so that's the first code. Our script. Run part 1. Okay. Now we'll come down here. We're going to copy part 1. You know what? That just make this. There's only two parts to be in run. Okay, so we come back up here then, and stick. Okay, so he is running under Windows 10 x64, 64-bit. I'm not sure how much RAM he has. This is just out. This is just output from some of his stuff there. Okay, let's come back over here then. Two. So we got that. So let's take a look at the time series part first. He's loading some libraries. I'm not sure why he's using XTS, but ggplot, dplyr. I'm actually going to add one more plot up, one more library up here. What the heck is a snake case? Okay, so let's take a look and see what he does. So the first thing I'm going to do is, my experience is, okay, or I'm going to say by default, okay, and dates, R is looking for a dash and not a slash. So I'm going to switch by switching all these things to a dash, okay, it should make it easier for R to work. And the period we only, and I'm also going to do, I'm not sure about this, but I'm also going to put zeros in there, okay? Like I say, I'm not really sure that this makes a difference, but I'm still going to do it anyway, okay? I know the dashes make a difference, but I'm not sure if the zeros make a difference. But again, I want to emphasize one more time, use dashes and not slashes for your dates, okay? So now we got the 3 date functions set up here, okay? Here's time series 1. Time series 2. All right. And time series 2. Okay. So what he's doing here is he's creating a date sequence. This is the start date, this end date, and the increment's going to be 1 day at a time. Okay. So he's going from 2014 to 2016. So that's about, what is it? So that's a 728 date range, all right? So this is a data decision mode. But you see what he does here? He doesn't need this because he's already created a data series up there. Okay, you've already created your data period. It doesn't do any good to come back and reformat it again as a date because it already says that. So let's just run this first thing here and see exactly what this looks like. The thing I want you to notice here is how I'm running the code a chunk at a time. That way we can see where the problem actually is. Okay, because if this runs as it is, by highlighting this and then click and run, it's still only run those 4 dates there. Okay. Okay. And all this means here is uh, that it can make a difference when the sequence is, because what happens is, no, this should be all right, because what it should do is it should replace the following object are mask and package xtsy. That's because dplyr has its own first and last packages. And since dplyr comes last, it's going to override any function the same name beforehand. The same name here. Plotly. Plotly's okay, but may not be the best way to start. So let's take a look here. So let's take a look back here one more time. Error, unexpected symbol in. Now this looks okay to me. All right. Now this shouldn't make any difference. But let's see what happens here again. Okay. Now you should be able to use the equal sign. But I want to suggest that you use the left arrow, because that's a much more common thing, and also avoids confusion with actual equal signs that appear later on. Okay. And we're going to comment out this downer also. Okay. So we created this here. Let's do a class. Let's see exactly. See, because you've already created a date sequence, so therefore this function here doesn't do any good. Just to make sure, let's do this one more time, and let's just take a look at this. Now, while it's a series of dates, so it says that the class type is date. Okay, so it's a date function. Now, I don't think it necessarily makes it into a time series object, an XDS object, but it could make, but we'll see. Okay, so we got this first date function here. Now we're going to come down here, and we're going to create a data frame. We're going to create another property damage in dollars, and he's going to create the dollars damage. He's going to create a another object. Notice these are values and not data frames, which I think could be a problem later on, but we'll see. Okay. So now we're going to create this object here then. Now we have properties damage in R and R. Let's just check the structure type every time we come here. So this is now a numeric. I guess we could call it a vector. Let's try this. Let's see if the string tells us something about it. So it's a numeric variable, okay, that contains 731 values, and this contains 731 values. Okay, final data frame. So he wants to create a data frame with this here. So let's see if this works. Okay, so now we got the dates, and now we got the data frame. It contains the dates. Now, what's it going to do here? Final data pipe mutate decision mode as date decision made. add count. Well, let's just run this. Not quite sure what he's actually doing there, but we'll see. Okay, but he created this here. I'm not quite sure why he did it for. Because he's piping this data. Did I miss something here? Okay, but he isn't. So he's trying to create a variable called date decision mode. That's a date function. Why is he doing that? So I guess he's trying to create this variable date decision mode as part of final data. But it already has date decision mode. So this doesn't make any sense. Plus he's not piping it into any place. Add count, week format, date decision. Okay, so I don't understand. He puts that there, but he doesn't do anything with the data. It just prints it to output. Okay. So the trouble is this. See, he's taking final data, okay, and he's performing his calculation. Let's see what final data looks like. We got that. Now again, what you can see here is he's adding a count field. Okay. Date decision. I'm not sure why he's doing this for. Okay. Because again, this is already in this format. It's already a date format. You don't have to tell it to make it a date again. So he's simply taking this here and converting it back over to here, which doesn't make any sense. This makes sense, but not this here. But I'm going to leave it. Plus, the data doesn't go anyplace. Okay, the data doesn't go anyplace. Final data doesn't go anyplace. Because if we run this here, you can already see the results over here. So that doesn't make any sense in that case. So let's try this. So he's creating a field that has a data and it has a count in it. So let's see what happens here now. Okay, that looks okay. I did calculate a week. Well, I'm not sure that's the way he wants it. Okay. I would suggest let's do this. Let's try this again up here now. Let's try it all the way from up here now and run this again. Oh, first of all, of course, you always got to do always remember to put an RM at the top. That way, at the top of your code. That way, every time you run the code, you'll get a I suggest you change this to a 4-day year and a 1 week number. Okay. So let's come back up here. Run this. You see, this is much better. And this is the number you're looking for. But all these numbers you can see. Here's the thing. You got numbers here. So that number really isn't very good. Well, you should have 52, 53 weeks for each year. And it's telling you the total number of weeks for each year. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to copy, what he's trying to do there. But so far, there's no time factor involved. Let's run this now. Okay, so he's going to wind up merging two codes, obviously, with a time series on it. Okay, so this time series 3. Once again, we don't need this. This basically does the same thing over again for a second date period. Okay. Let's just try this here and see exactly what happens. Once again, you see the same problem. He forgot to pipe it out to a okay. Let's just run this again. Because now we're creating two. So now we got two. Now, did something go wrong up here with this count? Let's try this. Let's just run this whole thing back from the top. And what this will do, this will create okay. Let's just come down and run time series 2. Much better. Let's run this back from the top. Now let's try this again. So now we got data. Okay, so now we got our data. So that works. Let's get rid of this. Let's go over here. Once again, I'm switching to dashes because R prefers by default R is looking for a dash and a date and not a slash. So where's his actual calculation? Okay, since the data's there, let's run this first section. And just to make sure, let's come back up here and add these. Oh, by the way, I am running this in real time. So let's go ahead and see. I'm not sure why he says fig there because, well, okay, he's outdating the fig. I'm not sure why he's actually doing that. Okay, it certainly isn't needed. So he creates on date. He creates a field called temp date as numeric, as date decision node format. Okay, well, the trouble again is this. Why is he converting this to numeric? If he's trying to do a time series analysis, shouldn't this remain a date? Let's just run and see what happens here, okay? Here's the plotly XY split class. Now I'm not a big plotly person, so I'm not sure what exactly honestly what he's trying to do here. Okay? Let's just run and see what happens. That's right. Plotly you use whether an x equals use x equals tilde variable frame. Now here's the thing. I'm not sure again. Is he writing them out simply? I'm not sure why he's doing this here. Okay, so let's see if we could kill this. Okay, arrange. Okay, so use arrange. Where is arrange? Where's the range? I can't see the word arrange. Okay, so let's do this then. Let's see if we can figure out exactly what's going on here. So let's just run this. Let's just run it to here. Okay. It appears that the problem is right here. Okay. Let's just run this section here. So that works. Okay, there's the problem. What are you trying to accumulate by? Okay, oh, I see you write a function up there. Um, I honestly don't understand what he's trying to do. Okay. Now I don't understand exactly what he's trying to do here. It looks like he's trying to do a group by dat and var, maybe. Where's var and dat? Okay. You're making this way, way too complicated, I think, here. You shouldn't be looking for, you shouldn't be, I wouldn't put plotly in the middle of a function like that, okay? That's lapply sequence long function x. Okay, so here lies the problem. You call this function anyplace else? Now, once again, it doesn't really serve any purpose to have fig here. That's just redundant. run the plot, okay, and don't worry about this over here. Getting rid of this doesn't do any good, okay? So you're doing your plot here, then you say add lines. We shouldn't need this either. All we should have to do is this. Okay? See, that's redundant. Hmm. Okay. So we don't need this. Okay. So the problem is with the function. That's where it's hanging up. The problem is right here. Specifically, it's hanging on this code right there. I mean, the question is, what does he want the ultimate plot to look like? He, sh- he shouldn't need that because what he's doing, he's essentially doing a group by. All right? What would happen if you came down here and we said I would suggest what happens if we took this? What happens if we did this? If we took this, data, and you want to run the function with temp date. Summarize. Let's do this. Okay. I would get rid of that right there. I would just move this. Let's move this down to here. Okay. Now something like this again. I would take. You could probably get completely rid of this here. You know, don't run plotly and lapply inside of a function. What absolutely has to be up here? See, this doesn't make any sense. You can put this down below here. Okay, and this is redundant. You're doing a C bind here, and then you're coming back down here, and you're doing another row bind here. Okay, the trouble is right in here someplace. Okay, I would say to take out the plot, take out plotly, take out L-apply, because you only need to run C bind once at the end of the function. Okay, let's take this, put it outside the function. And that eliminates this. Okay, so again, let's do this. Yeah, I'm not sure why plotly's in there either. Okay, I think I'll call this portion of this video as complete. Hopefully, he'll find some information in there that'll help him out. So I'll put this back in here for now. There. Okay, I'm going to call this video a conclusion. I made a few tweaks to it. I've identified where the problem is. The problem again is the accumulate by function. I would suggest trying to use the dplyr group by and summarize function to do something, because I would also try to move the C bind outside the loop and run as a separate command. Maybe even take the plotly out and try to run the plotly as a separate command, because plotly is going to take a very heavy CPU usage, because it's a graphics engine. Okay, and that right there could be what's really slowing you down. That'd be my guess. Okay. That'll be my guess. What happens if we come down here now and run this? Again, why is it taking so long to run a plot? Well, it's because you got. Okay. Okay. Let's go up here. And let's see. Okay. I'm going to call it a quit on this one because I'm not really sure what else. I'm sure what I'm sure not. I'm sure not what else has to be done to fix that function. I'm not sure why it's taking so long for that report to execute either. Okay. The second reason is, if I ran this right, okay, when I ran this code, I had over 535,092 total rows in this final data table, and that's a problem. And I'm not quite sure why that is. It certainly shouldn't look that way. It must have something to do with the way it's binding them, or something like that. Maybe he's double binding it. Okay. I would think there should only be, two things for each one. One, two, one, two, one, two, three, one, two, one, one. Okay, so I'm going to call it quits here for the time being. But again, I'll make a note that after I ran the two data series functions, let's just run this one more time to make sure we're not missing anything here. Okay, it didn't have 2000 that time. Well, again, the problem could be here maybe. So let's see something. Okay, I don't have that many things now. What happens to run this function right here now? Okay, missing a code where we actually calculate this. And this is probably the problem right here. Because as you can see, data only has 1,462 records in it, which would be right. So let's run this number. Let's run this right there and see what happens. There you go. Okay. So the problem is, so there's a problem with this function. And that is why it's not running. And there lies the problem.